welcome to the Twist Happy Hour, where we're going to talk about travel, cocktails, and all good things gin today. I'm Keryn, and this is Kate, and we're going to dig right in. Instead of making a cocktail today, I just got back from Ireland, and I'm going to show off all the delicious gin that I got to Kate, so she knows what to pick up when she goes back.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I'm a big dum-dum when it comes to gin, but I like it now.
So I was up mostly in the northwest corner in County Donegal, and then I made my way down to County Galway. So we're actually going to start in Galway, where I went to the Tribe Gin School, and I made my own gin.
Oh, fun. That's cool.
So it was very exciting. I don't know even how to say the name of my gin, but it's basically a twist gin. So it was a twist on something special, but it's in Irish.
I have to come to California so I can try it.
It's delicious. It's very herby. I believe I put like thyme and rosemary and some seaweed in there, which
what do they
sounds
make
weird.
gin out of?
So gin is basically like a really high proof vodka. And then you put it has to have juniper in it.
Right.
And then you put different botanicals. So they have their base at the Tribe Gin School that they put in that just gives it something. And then you can add in other stuff. And then they have all these very cute, tiny little distilling pots that you get from Portugal. And you basically sit there drinking while you wait for your gin to be distilled. And what comes out of it being distilled, you then have to dilute with reverse osmosis water, which is basically a clear liquid with absolutely nothing in it, because reverse osmosis takes out all like the minerals and the chemicals and everything from a while, which sounds great. And I've thought about doing it for my house, but it takes away all the good minerals that you actually want to be drinking in your body. So like not the added in stuff. So now we're looking at a different kind of house filtration. But so that was very exciting. And other people can do it. Apparently it's really big with like hen do's and like bachelorette parties and Christmas parties and stuff for companies, because I mean you're drinking the entire time. They have their own gin there, so they're making gin and tonics for everybody, and then you're also making your own gin that you can bring home.
I would like to go to this place.
Oh my gosh, it's
amazing. Where is this? I'm writing it down.
It's in Galway City. Yeah, right by the Mickle Distillery, which also has a lovely gin and some great whiskey.
We're still trying to figure out if we're going to Italy next year or Ireland. So
I mean,
we'll see. I mean, both are lovely.
So another county, Galway, is this Gingen.
Ooh, that's a pretty bottle.
Oh my gosh. So this is the first and I believe only sustainable distillery in Ireland. It's fully sustainable or fully carbon neutral. And they even designed this bottle so that you would want to reuse it. So like you'll see it in bars, like people, put candles in it or they make lamps out of it and everything. I mean, it's stunning. And even better, it's available at duty free. So I didn't even have to put it in my luggage. I just picked it up on my way out. But yeah, I like this one. It's got a ton, like 27 botanicals. I can't remember. It's a husband and wife team. The husband's more into the whiskey side of the business. She's more into the gin. And she put persimmon in it, which I don't like. I have persimmon trees and I never know what to do with them. And I mean, you can't taste it like specifically in there, but there's definitely like some really nice notes. I think it took her like 10 years to develop this recipe of just like continually tinkering. And
that's cool.
I'm going to kill the name of this town, and I apologize in advance because this distillery, I got to go to it, is really amazing. And it's the Scrog Distillery. I'll put it in the show notes so you know.
Sounds totally correct.
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes. It's about 45 minutes east of Galway City. But then we can get into County Donegal, and there's An gin, which there's 3 different kinds, and this is from the Seaweed Distillery, which is not near Seaweed Cliffs at all. But this is a Memories of Asia, which is my favorite one, and just like a gorgeous, beautiful gin. Like I don't even know how to describe it. I can't even read what's in it to remember what it was. But this was by far my favorite one. And then they have a Santa Ana that's finished off in a red wine cask, which even though I can't drink red wine, I can drink this because there's not all the tannins and everything from it. And it's just like a really nice, like rich bodied gin. And then they have
even drink these though, or are you just going to display them in your house? Because I feel like they're really nice.
I mean, I'm going to drink them so that I have to go back and get more. And then this is their base.
You know what? I'll come with you.
I think you should. We need to do one.
Out of my life to come with you.
And then they have just their maritime gin. That's more of a basic gin. It's a little brackish, a little seaweed forward, as they say.
What's up with the seaweed? Is that a thing?
Oh my
Is that
gosh, I
like
love seaweed in,
like just
like,
pushing seaweed in the gin? Is that what's happening?
well, because, like, there's so much, like, kelp and seaweed and other stuff off the coast of Ireland, they're
Sure.
really trying to embrace the, local ingredients and the natural ingredients
Okay.
that they have,
All right.
so and then one company you might know is the Shed Distillery, that's actually in County Leitrim, and they make the gunpowder gin that we see all over the US, but they made a new one that's an Italian fig and laurel gin. That was a
Ooh.
collaboration with a mixologist over in Italy, and so much so that at the Shed Distillery, they have a bar. You can go, like, try all the different stuff, and they have different cocktails. They cannot develop cocktails until the guy who helped them develop this approves them. So I said, "Well, fine, I'm
That's
gonna come home
really
with it, and I'm going to figure out my own cocktails,
figure
with
it out and
fig
then
and
send it
laurel."
to the guy, see if he approves it. Maybe you'll have a famous cocktail.
I know, right? Wouldn't that be great? And then in
That
northern
that purple, that last one, or is it just the bottle?
It's just the bottle.
Okay.
Gunpowder is really known for their bottles, like, their regular one is blue, and then they have, like, a pineapple one that's yellow, and I feel like there's a pink one, and then they have, like, a specialty edition panda one that's really pretty,
Okay.
and then in Northern Ireland, there's Jawbox, which you can find a lot throughout the Republic of Ireland, which is just a really nice, um I wouldn't call it like a London basic dry gin, but it's got some nice botanicals, but my favorite, and we're gonna get into the seaweed, is this one.
Ooh, that's a cool bottle.
Basalt gin. So basalt gin is made up by Giant's Causeway, which is all basalt rock. And this is probably where I fell in love with brackish gin. It's also a really high proof gin, and you can only get it in Northern Ireland, the UK. So while we were driving from County Leitrim up to County Donegal, we tucked into Northern Ireland so that and like had to stop at 3 different liquor stores so that I could find this because they aren't even widely distributing it yet. I found it 2 years ago when they had just started kind of handing it off to bartenders,
Mm.
at, like, different spots so they could kinda test it out, and I was up in Port Rush, and I tried it, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, we're" like, you couldn't even buy it then. So the next time I was in London, I shipped it to a girlfriend there so I could pick it up because they weren't distributing it in London yet either.
Oh,
So
wow.
this time, I finally the 3rd off license, which is a liquor store over there, the 3rd off license we went to, I'm like, "Hey, do you happen to have Balsat gin?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we have it up here, like, on the high counter." They're like, "How do you even know about that?" They're like, "We just got this in the first time a month ago, and we'd never heard of it."
You're like, I have people. I
And
got
I was just like, "I'm
people.
just really good." So I was
I
talking
take
to a
my
tour
gin very
Oh my
seriously.
gosh. I didn't even know I did this seriously until
So
yeah, I
you
went
came up
looking
with
for
6
this.
bottles of gin in your suitcase.
Maybe more than that. So I was there for a conference and I told everyone, I'm like, look, I have my off license list where I know I can get that stuff. Then I have the distillery list where I have to go to the distillery because I know that's the only place I can get it. And then I have my duty free list where I know I can just pick it up
Yeah,
at the
we got
airport
duty.
and you get your duty free bag allowance. So that doesn't count as my check bag or my 2 carry on bags. That's my 3rd carry on bag of booze. And while I was checking out, I got 2 bottles of whiskey and 2 bottles of gin there. And the guy checking me out, he's like, "Oh, is this, like, for you or for friends?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, it's all for me." He's like, "That's really funny." He's like, "Most people say it's for their friends, but it's for them."
Most
And I'm
people
like,
try to
"Oh,
lie. Karen's like,
yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna keep
it's
it
fine.
honest.
I got some
No,
beautiful whiskey. I got some beautiful
I'm
gin
not
and
sharing this at all.
not at all." And, most of these I would just either drink straight or with a little bit of soda water. I don't even know if I would dilute it with tonic because tonic just changes the
Are
taste of
they
some things.
made to drink so being the gin virgin that I am, are they made to drink straight? Because, like, I only ever see gin a did that just ring on here?
It did ring.
My child
Well,
calling.
yeah, most people think that gin is just for gin and tonics or gin cocktails, but I think because more and more like small distilleries and boutique distilleries are coming about, they're really making them as if they're like sipping gins, almost like a sipping whiskey, where
Okay.
you don't want to really mix it. You might like tone it down a little bit with some soda water to get a little bit of that sparkle and maybe like a lime or some grapefruit. Grapefruit is actually surprisingly good in gin. I didn't realize this until I was in Scotland having gin one time, and I was like, "Why is
What would you drink grapefruit and gin like, what?
Well, like, no, you do instead of your garnish being a lime or a lemon, you just do, like, a little slice of grapefruit, and there's something about that, and I will research it for everybody, that just really kind of brightens up the gin a little bit, which is
Okay.
nice. Like I even turned my husband onto it, and we're not big grapefruit people. I have so many oranges and limes and lemons at my house.
Right.
I am not going to get a grapefruit
You
tree.
could get a grapefruit
You're
tree.
hearing here first. I might have a lot of lime trees and lemon trees, but there will be no grapefruit tree at my house.
$20 says she has a grapefruit tree in like 3 months. What are you gonna drink all that gin with? You need some grapefruit.
I know. Well, the next tree I have to get is a blood orange tree for my husband. So
What does he drink that has blood orange in it?
nothing. He just really likes blood oranges, I found out.
She's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I
So,
have to think of everything for an alcoholic beverage.
although I will have some blood orange cocktails coming up this fall and this
Oh,
winter.
yay.
So get ready for it and go pick some up so you can make these too. But so why are we talking about Irish gin? Because we're also going to talk about why so many Americans want to move abroad, especially right now in our current political climate.
That's
So
fun.
Kate has her Irish citizenship, right?
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet. You're working on it.
I've applied for my Irish citizenship. They haven't responded to me
I know.
yet.
It takes a little
They
bit.
did ask me to stop calling. They're like, ma'am, we will tell you in November. And I'm like, okay.
Well, at least they told you
Um,
in November it would happen. Now,
I'm-
why?
I'm nervous.
Yeah. Now, who are you related? So, to get your Irish citizenship, you have to have a grandparent or
So
a
it's a
parent.
grandparent. You can go 2 generations back. So you
Yeah.
can do your parent or your grandparent. My mother is an Irish citizen, though. So I only had to use her, but her situation is weird. So she is an Irish citizen. She is considered an Irish citizen born abroad because she is born in the United States, so therefore an American citizen.
Yes.
But she was born to Irish parents who were not yet American citizens.
Okay.
So she is considered an Irish citizen because she was born to Irish
Yes. So you
citizen
can get
parents.
foreign birth
She is a
citizenship.
citizen in the UK or in Ireland.
Well, the same thing happens to U.S. citizens who have their kids abroad, especially like military families. You're automatically, or you
Right.
can easily apply for your American citizenship.
Right. So anyway, I applied through her.
Okay.
And I sent all the correct documents and everything. The thing that makes me nervous now, my husband has a friend who just did this, and she was like, it was no, like, I just sent the documents and it was whatever, and they sent it back and everything was great. The thing that makes me nervous is that you're supposed to put a reference down. Like, you're supposed to put somebody that is like a police officer or a judge or like a lawyer or a principal of a school, like somebody that's, I don't really
Can
understand.
vouch for you.
Yeah, somebody that's like legit that can vouch for you, not like some rando off the street or whatever. They have not contacted my reference.
But
And
you had one.
I had one. She still exists. But it's my friend Gina. And I keep texting her like, what did they call? She's like, nobody has called. So I'm like, do they just think I'm okay? They don't have to call? Are they gonna call at the last minute? I don't know. But I'm supposed to find out in November.
Well, if we need to go back over there and find the parish priest that baptized your grandparents to get him to sign as a reference, which I know is a thing. I have a friend that just did that.
Okay, great.
I will sacrifice myself.
I'm sure that parish priest is long dead because my grandparents were born.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. As long as there's records in the parish.
That's true.
At the church, like, because that's who kept all those records.
My grandfather was born in 1890. So my mom was an old mom. She was the youngest in her family, and she was an old mom. So my grandparents were older, like would be over 100 now. They're not with us anymore, obviously.
Good for them.
Good for them. They kicked it. But, it is hopefully going to be a thing because ultimately we would like to buy property in Ireland and be able to stay for however
Extended
long
period.
we want, right?
Like 3 more years.
Right. Or longer if need be. But we'd like to be able to be over there. Like right now we would only be able to go for 90 days and then we'd have to like get some kind of special visa. Whereas if I have citizenship, my husband can apply for permanent residency through me. And then we can stay for like 6 months to 9 months.
And your kids can get their citizenship through
and my
you.
kids can, so my kids would have to live. So my whole family, my husband, my children, everything would have to live in Ireland, physically live there for the whole time for 3 years.
Okay.
And the problem is that so I can carry them on a stamp 4 visa.
Okay.
For my oldest is going to turn 18. Like if we move today, which by the way we're not, my oldest would turn 18 in 2 years because he's 16. I have a 14 and a 16-year-olds. He would have to get on like a student visa at that point or some
Okay.
other type of visa before he could actually get his citizenship.
Okay.
But if we go over there, like when he goes to college and he were to go to university over there, he could be there for 3 years and then apply for his citizenship, after university or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So yeah,
It's complicated.
it is complicated. I have looked at getting so I look more Irish than you probably just because
Yeah.
of the red hair.
Ton
Even though
of-
I'm like Vikings raped and pillaged all over Northern Europe.
And she's been to
line.
Ireland way more than me because I've never been there.
I don't know why I got obsessed with it. My youngest loves it because we live in Southern California, which is primarily Hispanic, and we go over to Ireland. He's like, Mom, everybody looks like me.
Representation matters.
And I'm just like, yes, they do. Although I was just in a bar and my oldest has like curly floppy hair like mine. But the way he wears it, I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I was in a bar in Carrick-on-Shannon and there was a kid working there because, you're 18, you can work in bars, and had the same kind of like lanky body, floppy hair and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's where my kid came from.
There you go. You see, it's his people. Those are his people.
But unfortunately, it was my great grandparents that came over on the Irish side. So I also had family that came over like right after the Mayflower on part of my side. But the only way I could have gotten my Irish citizenship would have been if my grandmother had claimed hers, then my dad had claimed his.
Yeah.
And then I could have gone
They
through.
really screwed it up for you.
They really did. They just were really embracing like this assimilation into American society. But I mean, that just goes to show you that as much as we are all complaining about immigration in America, all of us were immigrants at some point. Many of us within the past 100 years. I mean, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I'm like, okay, most of the country is immigrants or Native Americans or Black slaves who were forcibly brought over here.
Right.
That would not be considered immigration.
Right.
You were just basically kidnapped and told you were going to live here now. So I'm just kind of like, I don't really understand. We've all been taking the resources of this land we call home forever. Yes, now and I feel like as white people, we're constantly trying to find a connection to our ancestry because we feel like we don't belong anywhere. So that's why we're like, oh, we're Irish. Oh, we're Italian. Oh, we're German.
I think it is the idea of the melting pot, right? Like everybody kind of has that thing that culturally they need to identify with.
Yeah. And are we mad because Latinos and Hispanics know where they came from more than we do? Like, I almost feel like I'm like, are we jealous that they have a sense of like culture and identity and we don't? Because America is that place where you're like, we don't have a cultural identity. We're just American.
And here's the thing. I think that what gets lost in this sauce is that we're like babies as far as a country goes. Like the native people were here, right? Forever.
Millenniums.
And yeah. So, but as far as like the establishment of the government and the country that we have now, we're so brand new. And it was all people that came on boats and whatever. And it's funny to me living in La Florida, right? That everybody's like, what the heck are all these Spanish? I'm like, dude, who do you think Ponce de Leon was? You got statues of Ponce de Leon in the square in the town that I live in. Yeah. And you're like, oh my gosh, the history of that guy spoke Spanish. Yeah. He didn't speak English.
He was not from here.
Yeah. Where do you think he came from? I just think it's so fascinating that people can kind of parse that out so well that they're just like, yeah, if you really want to come to like the first people that set foot in the United States were not English speaking people. Yeah. And it's like the whole Christopher Columbus argument. And I'm like, dude was Italian.
Yeah.
He was an Italian immigrant. You're so proud of this guy. He was an Italian immigrant. And he was the best marketing ploy ever. The reason that Christopher Columbus Day was even became a thing was because the Italian people didn't want to be seen anymore as less than and as a minority. So they were like, what can we do to get some respect around here? And they were like, Chris Columbus, he was Italian, and he kind of sailed nearby here, kind of put a flag in something. So they pushed that. They were like, hey, guess what? An Italian guy found this place and made it a thing. And we're going to make a rhyme about it. It's going to be great. And after that, the Italians kind of were able to assimilate into white culture, essentially, because they were not seen as that. And it was a game changer for them. But
Yeah.
so funny to me that this is now the most important holiday for the anti-immigrant people. And I'm like, what, guys?
Well, and then you look back, even just, early 20th century, the Italians hated the Irish because they were coming over and taking jobs. The Italians and the Irish hated the black people who had been here longer because they were trying to get jobs. So they all were like, we're not Irish anymore. We're not Italian. We're American. And then it just became this blue, like big white mush. But like there are even places, I mean, still in Philadelphia, there's like the Irish side and the Italian side.
Very much so. But what's cute about Philadelphia is everybody's Catholic, so they all interbang.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're allowed to do that.
Irish. My husband's Irish Italian. His mom's 100% Italian. His dad's Irish. Everybody's Irish Italian. I'm like the only person I know who's not Irish Italian. I'm just Irish. Like, it's weird. I'm weird. Like, my friends that I went to high school with all are like, that's just how it is. Because they're like, Catholicism. All right, we'll just get married. It's fine.
We all believe in the same
Everybody's
people.
doing this. Like, their grandparents are going to freak out because they're still Catholic, so it's fine. But I mean, even when I married my husband, who's Italian and I'm Irish, so we're the Irish Italians, his mother was like, well, wait a minute, is she Catholic? And as long as I'm Catholic, she's like, all right.
Well, my grandmother broke with tradition where she was Irish Catholic. My grandfather was English Protestant.
Oh, my God. Jeez.
But they were allowed to get married because he agreed that they could raise the kids Catholic. Okay. But they couldn't get married in the church. They had to get married at her parents' house.
They had to get married in a cave.
In a cave, hidden away with shame. But, they went on to have their good 5 Catholic kids. And I think like 2 of them are still Catholic. Actually, I think one of them is still Catholic.
It is really, I think that everybody, especially back in the day, the early immigrant, the Ellis Island days, everybody was kind of like, they were kind of like, oh, we're all kind of immigrants and that's cool. But then they were all like, but like, we don't love you. You know what I mean? And I think it was a melting pot with a lot of parameters. But to be fair, and anyone who is watching who is a Gen X Italian kid, and I think that, like, again, I'm not Italian, so I'm gonna get canceled for this. Italians don't even like other Italians. Okay. And I think any Gen X Italian kid will be like, yeah, that's true. That's accurate. My husband, he's like, oh my God. You'd be like, oh, they're from Marky. You can't eat their sauce. Their gravy is terrible. You know what I mean? It's like his grandmother used to get upset about somebody's cheesecake. She's like, well, she's from Sicily. She can't make a cheesecake. And it's like, really? Like, this is all the same country. But she was like, oh, Sicilians. I'm like, were you married to a Sicilian? She's like, well, don't tell people that you were Sicilian.
I mean, that's like the Nona's movie. The Nona's movie where they're all from different parts.
My husband's grandfather was Sicilian. His grandmother was Marky.
Wait, where are Marky people from?
Marky people are from the kind of the calf of the boot.
Okay.
So like below Milan.
Okay.
And Venice, but like they're on the East Coast. And his grandmother's from a small town called Asole Piscina.
Okay.
I'm probably saying that completely incorrect.
It's better than my Irish.
Who's watching, I apologize. But her husband was Sicilian and was from the northern part of Sicily. But she used to tell my husband, her grandchild, don't tell anybody you're Sicilian. What you guys are, it's really okay. I don't think people care. No. Mm-mm. And he grew up in an all Italian neighborhood in Philly. And it was very like, where are you? What part of Italy are you from?
Well, I remember that.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Well, as we wrap it up, I also found it really curious that Irish people who still live in Ireland don't feel like Irish Americans are very Irish.
No,
especially right now, as like Ireland is it's very pro-Palestinian,
right?
Very anti, kings and all that stuff. They're like, we don't understand what's happening in your political system right now.
They're going through a whole political upheaval as well, though, right? So it's like
it's a hot mess everywhere. So
I don't know if
I just keep telling my kids, I'm like, you are going to vote in the next election, and your generation is going to change this because Gen X is not stepping up to fix it.
No.
So, all All right, but that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching the Twist Happy Hour, as we got a little more morose today than usual. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and let us know what you're thinking right now. So thanks, everybody.
Or where you're emigrating to.
Or where you're emigrating to, because, take me with you. But in Canada, we love you still, and we're coming.
Oh, hey, Canada.
All right, bye.
Bye.